My brothers and sisters, every one of us makes dawah. Every one of us raises our hands at some point in our lives. But the real question is not if we make dawah. The real question is how we make dawah. Sometimes we ask Allah while our hearts are distracted. Sometimes we ask Allah while we are impatient. Sometimes we ask Allah, but deep inside we are already losing hope. And this is why many people say, I made dua, but nothing changed. But let me remind you of something powerful. Dua is not just about asking. Dua is about believing. When you raise your hands, you are not speaking into the air. You are speaking to the one who created the heavens, the one who knows what is in your chest, the one who understands the tears you never showed anyone. So try making dua like this. Make dua knowing Allah is listening right now, not tomorrow, not later. Right now, speak to Him with certainty. Speak to Him with conviction. Speak to Him like a desperate servant. Speak into the most merciful Master. And never say, nothing is happening. Because something is always happening. Either Allah is changing your situation, preparing something better, protecting you from harm, or strengthening you for what is coming. But He is always responding. Sometimes the miracle is not what you receive. Sometimes the miracle is what Allah keeps away from you. Try making dua with a clean heart. Forgive people before you ask Allah for forgiveness. Remove hatred before asking for blessings. Remove hatred before asking for blessings. Fix your character while asking Allah to fix your life. Because a heart full of arrogance struggles to connect with Allah. And remember this beautiful reality. Allah loves when you keep asking. Even when you repeat the same dawah. Even when you cry about the same pain. Even when you ask again and again. Why? Because your dependence on Allah is an act of worship. Never think your sins are too big. Never think your problems are too complicated. Never think your life is too broken. Allah is greater than your past. Allah is greater than your fears. Allah is greater than your fears. Allah is greater than your problems. If Allah can split the sea for Musa AAS, He can make a way for you. If Allah can give Zakaria AAS a child in old age, He can give you what seems impossible. If Allah can bring Yusuf AAS from a prison to a palace, He can change your story too. But you must ask like someone who knows miracles belong to Allah. Make dua in sujood. Make dua in the last third of the night. Make dua when nobody sees your tears. And most importantly, never give up on dua. Because Allah never gets tired of listening. Maybe your miracle is one sincere dua away. Maybe your relief is one tear away. Maybe your relief is one night of patience away. So tonight, raise your hands differently. Ask with hope. Ask with certainty. Ask with humility. And watch what happens when a servant turns sincerely to his Lord. Because when dua comes from the heart, miracles begin to find their way to you. My brothers and sisters, dua is one of the most powerful acts of worship, but many people misunderstand it. They think dua is just about saying beautiful words or memorizing long Arabic supplications. But the reality is this: Allah does not look at how beautiful your words sound. He looks at how sincere your heart is. You can say very simple words like, Ya Allah, help me, with a broken heart, and it can be more powerful than a long dua recited without attention. Sincerity is what gives life to your dua. Think about it this way. If someone was talking to you while looking somewhere else, while checking their phone, while not really paying attention, would you feel valued? Of course not. Now think about when we make dua sometimes. Our hands are raised but our minds are distracted. Our tongues are moving but our hearts are absent. Dua is not meant to be a routine. It is meant to be a conversation with your Creator. When you make dua, feel that connection. Feel that you are speaking to the one who knows you better than you know yourself. The one who knows your silent struggles, your hidden fears, and your private battles. Sincerity means you speak to Allah honestly. You don't need to pretend. You don't need complicated words. You don't need perfection. Just be real. Tell Allah your fears. Tell Him what hurts you. Tell Him what you cannot tell anyone else. Even though He already knows, He loves to hear it from you because it shows your dependence on Him. Sincerity also means your heart is harder, present. Before making dua, pause for a moment. Clear who you're talking to. So remember who you are talking to. Remember that Allah is As-Sami, the one who hears everything in Al-Basir, the one who sees everything. When your heart is present, even a short dua becomes powerful. Another sign of sincerity is humility. Never make dua with arrogance or demands. Instead, ask like a servant who desperately needs his Lord. Ask with humility because the more humble you are, the closer you are to Allah. And sincerity also means consistency. A sincere person does not only remember Allah in difficulty but also in ease. Many people make strong duas during problems but forget Allah when life becomes comfortable. True sincerity means you call upon Allah in both situations. Also remember, sincerity grows when you try to fix your actions. When you try to stay away from what displeases Allah and move towards what pleases Him, your heart becomes softer and your du'as become stronger. And never forget this important truth. Allah answers sincere du'as in three ways. Either He gives you what you asked for, or He delays it because the right time has not come, or He replaces it with something better. So never think a sincere dua is wasted. No sincere tears ignored. No sincere prayer is condoned. So next time you raise your hands, don't just repeat words. Pause, reflect, feel your need for Allah. Because when words come from the tongue only, they may stop in the air. But when words come from a sincere heart, they are raised to the heavens. And that is the difference between a dua that is said and a dua that is felt. My brothers and sisters, one of the biggest secrets of powerful dua is trust. Not just asking Allah, but asking Him while your heart is fully convinced that He is gathering, so able to give you what you are asking for. Many people make dua, but inside they are full of doubt. Their hands are raised, but their hearts are saying, will this even work? Maybe my problem is too big. Maybe Allah will not answer me. But let us understand something very important. Dua without trust is like planting a seed, but never believing it will grow. Trust means you ask Allah, knowing that nothing is impossible for Him. Your situation might look impossible to you, but it is never impossible for Allah. What is difficult for you is easy for Him. What confuses you is already planned by Him. When you make dua, remember who Allah is. He is the one who can change lives overnight. He is the one who turns sadness into happiness. He is the one who opens doors you never imagined. So when you ask with certainty, not arrogance, but confidence in Allah's power and mercy. Trust also means you do not rush the answer. One of the biggest mistakes people make is impatience. They make dua for a few days or weeks and then they say, I asked but nothing happened. But who told you that Allah works according to your clock? Allah answers at the perfect time, not your preferred time. Somit. If Allah gave us what we asked for immediately, it might actually harm us. Sometimes we are asking for something while Allah knows something better is coming. Trust means you accept Allah's timing even when you don't understand it. Trust also means you continue making dua even when you see no results yet. This is real faith. Real faith is when you keep knocking on Allah's door even when the door has not opened yet. Because you know the one behind that door loves you more than anyone else. And remember this beautiful mindset, never measure Allah's response by what you see immediately. Sometimes Allah is working behind the scenes. Sometimes He's removing obstacles you don't see. Sometimes He's testing your patience because He wants to raise your status. Trust also means you think good about Allah. Always expect good from Him. A believer always believes that whatever Allah decides will be best for them, even if it doesn't match their plans. And here is something very powerful. When you trust Allah completely, even before your problem changes, your heart changes, your anxiety becomes calmer, your fear becomes hope, your stress becomes reliance. Because trust itself is a form of relief. So next time you make dua, don't just ask with your tongue. Ask with a heart that says, Ya Allah, I know you can, Ya Allah. I know you are listening, Ya Allah. I know you are listening, Ya Allah. I know you are listening. And never forget, sometimes Allah delays something not because He ignored you, but because He loves to hear your voice again and again. So ask, trust, repeat. Because when you ask Allah with complete trust, you are already on the path to your miracle. My brothers and sisters, when we make dua, it is not just about what we ask, but how we ask. One of the most beautiful qualities of a believer when making dua is humility. To stand before Allah with a heart that He recognizes its weakness and His greatness. Humility means you realize you need Allah for everything. Your health, your sustenance, your happiness, your guidance. Even the air you breathe is a gift from Him. When a person truly understands this, arrogance disappears. You no longer ask Allah like someone making a demand. You ask like a servant who knows that without Allah he has nothing. True dawah comes from a heart that says, Ya Allah, I am weak and you are strong. Ya Allah, I am weak and you are strong. Ya Allah, I don't know what is best, but you know everything. Ya Allah, I am in need of you in every moment of my life. This is the attitude Allah loves. Sometimes our problem is not that we don't make dua, but that we forget our position. We forget that we are the ones in need. Humility softens your heart and the soft heart connects faster to Allah. And together with humility comes another powerful quality, patience. Patience in dua is extremely important because life does not change instantly. Sometimes Allah answers quickly, but sometimes He makes you wait, not to punish you, but to build you. Because patience transforms you. Waiting teaches you trust. Waiting teaches you strength. Waiting teaches you strength. Waiting teaches you reliance upon Allah. Many people give up on dua because they are impatient. They say, I have been asking for so long. Why is nothing changing? But what if the delay itself is part of the blessing? What if Allah is preparing something bigger than what you asked for? A farmer does not plant a seed and dig it up the next day because it hasn't grown. He waters it consistently and trusts the process. In the same way, your duas need patience. Keep watering them with hope, good deeds, and trust in Allah. Patience also means you don't stop worshipping Allah just because life is hard. You continue praying, you continue believing, you continue hoping even when things feel heavy. And remember, something very deep. Allah loves the servant who keeps coming back. Every time you make dua with patience, you are showing Allah your faith. Every time you wait without complaining, you are showing Allah your sincerity. Humility also means accepting that Allah might answer differently than what you expected. Sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes the answer is wait. Sometimes the answer is I have something better. A humble heart accepts all three. So when you raise your hands, raise them with humility. Feel small before Allah, and that is not weakness, that is strength. Because the one who humbles himself before Allah will never be humiliated by Allah. And when the answer seems delayed, be patient. Continue asking, continue hoping, continue trusting. Because patience in dua is not wasted time, it is worship. So ask Allah like someone who truly needs Him. Wait like someone who truly trusts Him. Because when humility and patience come together in your dua, Allah opens doors you never thought possible. My brothers and sisters, if you want your dua to become stronger, then don't just raise your hands, improve your actions. Because one of the most powerful ways to strengthen your dua is to support it with good deeds. Think about this carefully when you are asking Allah for help, but at the same time you are ignoring what He has asked from you, your heart becomes weak. But when you try to obey Allah while asking Him, your dua gains strength and sincerity. Good deeds and dua go hand in hand. When you pray your salah on time, it strengthens your connection with Allah. When you give charity, it brings barakah into your life. When you help someone, Allah sends help to you. When you forgive others, Allah opens the doors of forgiveness for you. Sometimes we want big changes in our lives, but we forget the small good actions that bring those changes closer. And a small good deed can make a big difference. Smiling at someone, speaking kindly, controlling your anger, helping your parents, being honest when it is difficult. These are not small in the sight of Allah. And here is something very powerful to understand. Sometimes the acceptance of your dua is connected to the changes you are willing to make. If someone is asking Allah for success, but they are lazy, they must change their effort. If someone is asking Allah for peace, but they are hurting others, they must change their behavior. If someone is asking Allah for guidance, but they are ignoring reminders, they must change their priorities. Your actions show Allah how serious you are. Good deeds also purify the heart, and the clean heart makes sincere du'as. When you stay away from wrongdoing and try to do what is right, your heart becomes softer. And when the heart becomes softer, your connection with Allah becomes stronger. Another beautiful way to connect good deeds with dua is to do a good deed secretly and then ask Allah. Give charity quietly and then make a dua. Help someone without expecting anything and then ask Allah for your needs. Why? Because these sincere actions are loved by Allah. And never underestimate the power of repentance. If you have made mistakes, and we all have, turned back to Allah. Ask for forgiveness before making your requests. A heart that repents sincerely is very beloved to Allah. Also remember this. Good deeds are not only big acts. Consistency matters more than size. A small good deed done regularly can be more beloved to Allah than a big deed done once and forgotten. So try this simple formula. Pray sincerely. Do good quietly. Avoid harming others. Ask Allah with hope and watch how your heart begins to change. Because sometimes the miracle is not just in getting what you asked. Sometimes the miracle is that Allah makes you a bee at a person while you are asking. So if you want powerful duas, build a life of small but sincere good deeds around them. Raise your hands to Allah, but also walk on the path that pleases Him. Because when your actions support your prayers, your duas rise with a different strength. My brothers and sisters, one of the biggest mistakes a person can make is to stop making dua just because they don't see immediate results. Sometimes people raise their hands for a period of time, but when they don't get what they want quickly, they slowly stop asking. This is exactly where many people lose their greatest blessings. Because the moment you stop making dua, you stop showing your need for Allah. Dua is not just about getting what you want, it is about staying connected to the one who controls everything. Never think your dua is useless. Never think Allah is not listening. Never think your voice does not matter. Allah hears every whisper. He sees every tear. He knows every silent pain you carry. Even the duas you cannot put into words, Allah understands them. Sometimes the only reason Allah delays something is because He wants you to keep coming back to Him. Because every time you make dua, you are performing an act of worship. Every time you ask Allah, you are strengthening your relationship with Him. And think about this deeply. What if your next dua was the one that was going to be accepted, but you stopped one day before? This is why consistency in dua is so important. Never measure your dua by days or months. Some of the greatest people waited years for their prayers to be answered, but they never stopped asking. They never lost hope. They never allowed delay to destroy their faith. A believer understands something very special. Delay does not mean denial. Just because Allah has not given it to you yet does not mean He will not give it to you. It's C. Memply means the right time has not come, or something better is being prepared. Also remember, even when Allah does not give you exactly what you ask for, He always gives you something in return. Either He removes the difficulty, protects you from harm, forgives your sins, or stores the reward for you in the hereafter. So nothing is wasted. No sincere dua is ever ignored. Another important thing is to make dua in all situations, not only in hardship. Many people only remember Allah when they are in trouble but forget Him when life becomes easy. The strong believer remembers Allah in both situations. Make dua when you are happy. Make dua when you are sad. Make dua when you are sad. Make dua when you are confused. Make dua even when everything is going well. Because dua is not an emergency button. It is a lifelong connection. And never let shaitan convince you to give up. One of his biggest tricks is to make you feel that your dua is not being accepted so that you stop asking. But the believer fights this thought by continuing to ask with hope, even if your voice shakes, even if your eyes are full of tears, even if your heart feels tired, keep asking, because Allah loves the servant who refuses to give up on Him. So keep making dua, keep believing, keep hoping. Because the one who keeps knocking on Allah's door with sincerity will eventually see that door open in the best way possible. Because when you never stop making dua, you never lose your connection with the one who can change everything.